Next comes the giant of the asteroid belt, Ceres. For more than 2 centuries, humanity has given me 3 different identities. A planet, an asteroid, a dwarf planet. But the truth is, I never changed at all. Today, I orbit quietly between Mars and Jupiter, deep within the asteroid belt. At nearly 950 kilometers across, I am the largest object in the region, containing almost 1/3 of the asteroid belt's total mass. Yet for generations, astronomers struggled to understand exactly what I was. My story began on January 1st, 1801. That was the day Italian astronomer Giuseppe Piazzi first discovered me moving across the night sky. The discovery created excitement throughout Europe. Many scientists believed they had finally found the missing planet predicted to exist between Mars and Jupiter. For a brief moment, I was celebrated as a new planet. Then I disappeared. Soon after my discovery, I moved into the sun's glare and became impossible to observe. Astronomers searched for me, but no one could determine where I had gone. The object that had generated so much excitement suddenly seemed lost. Then a young mathematician named Friedrich Gauss stepped forward. Using only a few observations, he calculated my orbit and predicted exactly where I would reappear. Many doubted him, but when astronomers pointed their telescopes toward the location he predicted, I was there, almost exactly where his calculations said I would be. It was one of the earliest demonstrations of the power of mathematics in astronomy. But my identity crisis was only beginning. As more objects were discovered between Mars and Jupiter, scientists realized I was not the missing planet they had imagined. And over the next 2 centuries, my classification would change again and again. By the mid-1800s, Ceres was reclassified as an asteroid. More than a century later, in 2006, it was reclassified again as a dwarf planet. One world, 3 different identities. Yet its classification turned out to be the least interesting thing about it. Everything changed in 2015, when NASA's Dawn spacecraft arrived at Ceres after an 8-year journey through deep space. For the first time, scientists could study this mysterious world up close. One discovery immediately stood out. Inside Occator Crater, bright white spots shone against the dark surface. They appeared almost unnatural. At first, no one knew what they were. Some researchers suspected ice. Others suggested unusual minerals. As Dawn collected more data, the answer finally emerged. The bright material was largely composed of sodium carbonate, a highly reflective salt. But that discovery created an even bigger mystery. Salt deposits like these usually form in the presence of water. If water once carried these minerals to the surface, where did it come from? Further analysis provided a surprising answer. Beneath the surface of Ceres, scientists found evidence of a vast reservoir of salty liquid water. Roughly 40 kilometers below the crust, an underground layer of brine may stretch for hundreds of kilometers. Suddenly, Ceres no longer looked like a simple asteroid belt object. It appeared to be a world with a complex and active history. And another clue was waiting nearby. A lonely mountain rising from the surface. A mountain called Ahuna Mons. Ahuna Mons is one of the most unusual features on Ceres. Rising nearly 4 kilometers above the surface, the mountain appears surprisingly young compared to the surrounding terrain. Scientists believe it may be a cryovolcano, a volcano that erupts water, ice, and salts instead of molten rock. If true, it suggests that Ceres was once far more active than it appears today. And the discoveries do not end there. Research indicates that billions of years ago, radioactive elements inside Ceres may have generated enough heat to drive hydrothermal activity beneath the surface. Hot, mineral-rich water could have circulated through underground reservoirs, creating conditions that scientists often associate with potentially habitable environments. Liquid water, chemical nutrients, a source of energy. These are some of the key ingredients needed for life as we know it. That does not mean life ever existed on Ceres. But it does mean this small world may once have been far more interesting than anyone expected. Today, scientists continue to investigate whether liquid water still survives deep beneath the surface. If future missions confirm its existence, Ceres could become a major target for exploration. And perhaps something even more. Located between Mars and Jupiter, rich in water resources, and possessing extremely low gravity, Ceres could one day serve as a refueling station for spacecraft traveling deeper into the solar system. For more than 2 centuries, humanity kept changing its labels. Planet, asteroid, dwarf planet. But those labels may have distracted us from what truly matters. Ceres is not just the largest object in the asteroid belt. It is a world that still holds important clues about water, planetary evolution, and perhaps even the conditions that make life one day, it may become an important stepping stone on humanity's journey into deep space.